Hey there guys, so the last time in the anime, we saw that there was a village that got destroyed economically and the noble owning that land abandoned the villagers. So Marquis Bolton decided to take the refugees into his territory, but the land beneficial for them was filled with monsters. So Marquis asked Takumi to clear out that land and establish a village there for the refugees, and Takumi did an extremely good job. He created roads, solid walls, and moat around the village, and many other small details, which transformed the village into a fortress. But there was a woman among those refugees who had lost her husband because of that noble. And Sophia offers her maid's job, but Mani couldn't bring herself to believe them because she thought they were nobles. After that she tried to leave the village, but ran into a monster horde. So Takumi and his party saved her, and she realized Takumi is not a noble, and he's a kind man, and decided to accept the maid's job. But 1 year had passed, and the Sidonia Empire summoned heroes with forbidden magic. The mana that was emitted was foul and spread so far that it even reached where Takumi was. After that, Nolan kept her eye on those heroes, and in just 3 months, they had become A-rank adventurers, and now Sidonia were planning to introduce them to other kingdoms. But in reality, they were trying to spread the influence of the church, and aside from them, in this 3 months the village created by Takumi was named Wedge Fort. And things were going around very smoothly. People started to adjust in this land, learning and doing various jobs to start their living. As for Sophia, she was safeguarding the forest for travelers, and Maple caught a weird monster. Sophia knew this lizard shouldn't be in this area. So she reports this back at home, that monsters are getting stronger, and many new monsters have started showing up in this area. Sophia believes the reason could be that mana they sensed 3 months ago, which came out of hero summons, and after this, Barak, that guild master, requested Takumi to take on a guild job back in Bolton. But the knight also informs Takumi that heroes have been summoned in Sidonia. It gave out a bad feeling. But Maria thought the heroes could be useful in correcting the wrongdoings of the Sidonia Empire. Takumi also thought of believing that heroes might turn out to be what Maria had said. But 3 out of 2 were turned completely evil. They saw Akane was bringing her slave along, and Akane stood up for her when the two tried to cause trouble for her. Sidonia is trying to rule the land with religion they created, but the imaginary goddess of their religion had become an evil spirit, and aside from that, Takumi got to Bolton and heard from a receptionist that heroes are 3, and they all have jet black hair, and Sidonia are now sending them to other nations to suppress the Church of Creation. But aside from that, Barak had an escort mission assigned for Takumi, and for that, he had to leave for capital. But Mani asked her to take her along too. She doesn't want to be left alone in the house, and others got the feeling, so Mani did some emotional torture, and Takumi gave in. At the same time, heroes had also entered the Barkula Empire, and they were planning to get some elf slaves for enjoyment. They think they are heroes and top-level ones, so no one would object, but Akane had a feeling things won't turn out in their favor. And her hunch was perfect. Takumi and her party escorted the person to the capital and came to the guild to report it, but heroes came there and started causing a fuss. They saw Mani and Sophia and got the urge to get them. They thought being heroes mean they could get anything they lay their eyes on, and Takumi showed them they are just stupid morons. Heroes try to use Church of Light to suppress everyone, but picking a fighting guild means trouble for anyone. So the two backs off for now, and Akane was the only one who had some decency and apologized. Takumi saw this and heard her name was Japanese, so he asked her to come meet him in hotel. Akane had revelation skill, and that's what told her Takumi could save her. Then back at the hotel, Sophia and Mani told Maria how they encountered the heroes, and they were such a scum of persons. But Takumi thinks Akane might turn out to be different, and she slipped out at night with her slave to meet Takumi, but knights caught on and tried to get her. But Sophia helped her out on her run with Maple, thanks to that she arrived at the hotel safely, and then she confirmed that Takumi is also from Japan just like her, which surprised others. So he decided to reveal how he came to this world at the same time. Those 2 years that Akane ran off with her slave, and girls were surprised that Takumi was sent here by goddess Nalan herself. He's sort of like an emissary, but Takumi doesn't consider himself that. As for Sidonia, they broke the law of forbidden magic to summon heroes, so it might affect the world. They saw firsthand how those 2 are, but they aren't powerful enough to wage war themselves. The church might use them for influence, and their behavior was odd. Akane tells them that her friends weren't like that at all. So that shows that Sidonia might have given something to them. Akane never believed in Sidonia Empire. That's why she always casted purification before consuming anything, but those two just gave their attention to swordsmanship and got brainwashed, so Akane begs Takumi to help her. She barely escaped, and this chance won't come back again. She doesn't like the Empire enslaving peoples in religious belief. So Takumi knew she doesn't want her companion to be enslaved, and dispelled the slave collar. But Lulu got scared that Akane would abandon her, and Akane clears she wants her as a friend, not as a slave. So now Takumi decided to take her back to Bolton Town first. And on the way they serve her cream stew. It was pretty delicious, that reminds her of home. But back at Wedge Fort, a huge monster stampede just started, and unaware of it. Takumi was doing his alchemy job and workshop, but after this, he called out the girls to dissolve their slave contract, so girls thought Takumi wanted to abandon them. But he clears up that he wants them to stay by his side as friends because they have stronger bond and trust between them. And right after that, Takumi received an emergency summons from the guild. But our episode 11 ends right there, so stay tuned to watch another episode of this anime, and for that subscribe the channel, and hit the bell icon to receive the latest updates. Till then, take care.